Coming up on Mountain News this morning, a man is grateful his 2 grandchildren are alive after a fire destroyed his home. And doctors say every precaution must be taken to ensure you are fully protected from the cold.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Welcome to Mountain News This Morning. I'm McKinley Calandrino here with you on this Tuesday, January 27th. The time is now 5:31. Let's check in with meteorologist Megan Dusmall for a look at your forecast this morning. Megan, I walked outside yesterday and my hands were frozen, like just the wind hitting them.
Terrible.
And I'm assuming we can expect that today too.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's just going to keep itself up as we're going through the next several days. I mean, we're talking cold temperatures, fast wind speeds. That wind chill is just going to make these temperatures that are already sitting in the mid single digits feel like the negatives for some folks in low single digits. I mean, we're talking feels like negative 14 degrees in Wise right now. Feels like -7 in Moorhead and -9 in Monticello. So layers, 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 and make sure you're limiting your time outdoors. You're going to want to do that once you head outside. You'll feel just how cold it is. Thankfully, by the afternoon, there are some improvements, but I mean, I feel like this point we've just seen cold temperatures for so long that seeing the chance for low 30s is exciting, but that's still below freezing for many folks. So keep that in mind. The warmest temperatures of the day for most folks will still be below freezing, limiting melting chances. But the good news is we're looking at sunny skies as we're starting off the day. So hopefully it'll not feel as bad once that sun starts to rise, hopefully. But we are going to see cloud cover increasing as we're heading into the afternoon and a chance for snow as we're heading into the late evening. McKinley.
Thank you, Megan. In Claiborne County, Tennessee, a crash caused by black ice resulted in the death of an 8-year-old. Tennessee Highway Patrol troopers say it happened last Thursday when an SUV was heading north on State Route 63 and ended up hitting black ice and sliding off the road before hitting a mailbox and then a rock embankment. 3 others were injured in the crash, including the driver, 62-year-old Herman Vandergriff. THP says charges are pending against Vandergriff and another passenger, Rose Dixon. In Somerset, fire crews responded to a structure fire overnight. It happened at a home on Oak Meadow Drive. Firefighters say they found smoke going into a garage and discovered the kitchen stove and overhead cabinets were on fire. Crews with the Somerset Fire Department made a quick knockdown and were able to extinguish the flames. The homeowner told the firefighters flames from the unattended candles spread and got out of control. No injuries were reported. A man is grateful his 2 young grandchildren are alive after a fire destroyed his Loumansville home. Sunday night, the heat stopped working. Maynard and his brother went to change the propane tanks. Maynard said he was loosening the regulator with pliers when flames erupted from the tank and quickly spread to his home. They tried to extinguish the fire themselves, but it was too late. Fortunately, everyone escaped safely.
We went out there and it had probably about that much ice on top of the tank, and we took the pliers and pecked down on it, tried to bust it loose, and when we twisted that fit and hit spark somehow, and those flames, and he moved the line, and it seemed like the more you moved that line, the bigger the flames got.
The people who lived there went back to see if there was anything salvageable, but say just everything is about a total loss. The Red Cross is providing assistance to the family who are now staying with a relative. A longtime constable in Whitley County has died. Lonnie Lee Foley died on Saturday. He was a constable for more than 30 years. He also served as a security officer for the Whitley County Board of Education for more than 40 years. His visitation will be Thursday at noon at New Zion Baptist Church in Williamsburg. His funeral will follow at 3 o'clock. And Mr. Lonnie Lee Foley was 75. Emergency management officials say the snow is moving out of the region, but the danger for people is still in the area. WYMT's Buddy Forbes has an update on the winter weather in Pike County.
Pike County Emergency Management Director Nee Jackson says no major issues were reported Monday as the snow and rain moved out of the mountains and electricity was restored throughout the county.
Nothing more than, some medical calls and then also some accidents.
However, officials say the cold weather will continue to be an issue in the days to come.
This cold front that's ushered in behind all that moisture that we had this past weekend, there's not a whole lot of thaw involved in what we're looking forward to.
Governor Andy Beshear hosted a news conference Monday saying the entire state was impacted by the icy hit.
The system has now moved out of the eastern side of our state, but I want to emphasize we are not in the clear yet.
Jackson says the county has not seen any house fires, and the work of the area crews paired with the vigilance of community members has had an immense impact on the county's response.
We have experienced a lot of cold temperatures, but we have been very blessed and fortunate that we didn't have any more power outages, and that folks have stayed in and not tried to get out and be on the roadways.
Governor Beshear said not every county has been as fortunate.
I think we've got 3 deaths that we are investigating, and whether or not they were caused by this storm, we don't want any others.
Which is why officials are still recommending folks heat smart, stay off roadways, and limit their time in the elements.
Folks, if you can, try to stay in as long as possible.
In Pike County, Buddy Forbes, WYMT Mountain News.
Jackson says if you have to travel for work or something unavoidable, you should have an emergency kit on hand. Folks in Harlan County have not seen any major power or water issues so far, but Judge Executive Dan Mosley says the creeks were actually causing some worry to Sunday after heavy rain in that area.
The creeks had exceeded their banks, with what you would call just ditches, basically ditches overflowing where culverts were stopped up.
Mosley says they will continue to monitor those creeks and culverts as well as the road conditions. One of the biggest dangers during severe cold is frostbite. Doctors say every precaution must be taken to ensure you are fully protected from the cold. Frostbite occurs when skin is exposed to cold temperatures for too long. It starts out as just a numb feeling, which doctors say can deceive people into thinking they aren't in real danger. However, if you are still exposed, you can lose circulation. Doctors say if you have to go outside, protect every part of your body.
Definitely you want to prepare yourself by having, heavy gloves to cover your hands. You want to have something to cover your head. Definitely make sure your ears are covered. And if you're having a tremendous amount of exposure to wind, or if there's a lot of wind, you want to make sure your face is covered adequately as well with a scarf or hat that can cover partially your face as well.
He says if you have to be outside, try to take breaks throughout your time to warm yourself up. Members of the 1st Battalion 149th Infantry of the Kentucky National Guard are in Laurel County, helping the Department of Forestry cut down fallen trees and clear roads. In Laurel County, several hundred people remain without power, and for some families without power or without a warm place to go, organizations are opening up warming shelters to keep them safe. WKYT's Jackson Plank introduces us to one man who is homeless in London, who is finding help through a community organization.
We're staying out by the Office Max, out in the cold. Then my toes started tingling.
Standing outside the Budget Host Inn, Adam Payne shares how he is all too familiar with dealing with extreme weather conditions. That's because he's been homeless his entire adult life.
Being out in these cold temperatures is nothing to be played with.
The 42-year-old London transplant first became homeless at the age of 18. With a wife he says is in the nursing home and kids elsewhere, it was up to Payne to find shelter when the winter storm hit this past week.
I started hitting the hotels and seeing if I could just go in and warm up.
Payne didn't find a hotel at first, but instead a day center. That day center is in turn a partnership by 1810 Ministries and the City of London.
We've had a donor that donated some money to help them get rooms.
According to Isaiah 18 founder and CEO Tracy Byers, the ministry has 36 people in 22 rooms. She says those individuals are either homeless or those whose power went out. Byers says once the temperatures drop below 27 degrees, it enables them to open their White Flag ministry, which allows those like Payne to get a warm room. Payne calls it a blessing. He shares this final piece of advice.
Treat them how you want to be treated, you know. Get them together best you can.
Reporting in London, Jackson Plank, WKYT.
Now, here are some tips if you are driving. Emergency management officials say make sure the cruise control is disabled. If your vehicle does become difficult to drive, pull over and stop, then set the parking brake. And finally, if a power line falls on your vehicle, do not get out. Keep your doors closed until a trained professional safely removes the wire. You can find more tips and advice on the Kentucky Emergency Management's Facebook page. In Bullitt County, their school system, like a lot of others in Kentucky, were out for a snow day. But some high schoolers layered up, grabbed a shovel, and went to work, clearing driveways. The seniors are football players for Bullitt East High School. They've been doing this every winter since freshman year. The community even donated shovels to help them with the work. Yesterday morning, they got started about 7 a.m. For one young man, it was all about making a difference.
And sitting home comfortable just isn't in our DNA. You know, if it's not uncomfortable, it's not worth it. Anything that's worth anything is hard to do. And sitting at home and playing video games at all is really easy, which in turn means it's not worth anything. So if we can come out here and, you know, make something, of our lives, then, we're gonna do that every single chance we get.
The team offered to dig out driveways for a little money, accepting whatever the people can give. The teens plan to put that money into high-yield savings accounts to help with finances as they head off to college. They might not be real hockey players, but this week the stars of show Heated Rivalry took off and won winter sports' biggest honor.
And we're tracking snow chances as we're heading into tonight.